Welcome to My name's Keith, and I'm going to be your host. Throughout this podcast, we're going to look at the unknown. We're going to look at the mysterious. We may even look at some conspiracies. Whether that be time travel, aliens, evolution, the ancient Egyptians, or who knows, maybe the human mind itself. So if this is stuff that you might be interested in, check out the upcoming episodes. Check out our Facebook page, where we're going to remind you of new episodes. But not only that, we're going to have polls. We're going to have questions. Because I want to get you, as an audience, involved to help everyone think outside the box. So again, my name's Keith, and welcome to Mindbender.
Welcome, my Mind Bender audience, and let me just go ahead and say thank you ahead of time. Thank you for coming, hanging out with me, checking out the second episode. So, this episode, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into one specific topic. Keep in mind, the entire concept of this podcast is to broaden your horizon and think outside the box. So, what better way to do a second episode than talk about superheroes? Yep, something simple, yet something to kind of awaken us, I guess, in a way. So last week's episode was, or at least the last episode, was kind of fun. Just simple questions, but let's go ahead and dig into this one. Again, like I said, this episode's about superheroes. Supervillains, well, just overall superpowers. And that's the thing. That's one of the things about this is we all know at least one superhero or at least one supervillain. They're realistically a massive part of our lives. Whether that's reading comics, watching the TV series, or just watching the movies. We all know, like I said, we all know at least one. Obviously, there's going to be a few of us that, well, we're kind of nerds in that realm. Me personally, I'm a massive Batman fan. I've been a Batman fan ever since I was a kid. Dating back to all the Tim Burton movies, looking at the comic books, having the Batman toys. I've just always been a massive fan of his. Massive fan of the character. His technology, the knowledge, and realistically the way he overcame his past, just to help his community. It's kind of what piques my interest with him. However, I want to look at something other than the basic knowledge of what we know of comic superheroes. And like I said, of course, this is Mindbender. We're here to think outside the box. With that in mind, we're not going to discuss superheroes like Batman. Heck, we're not even going to discuss superheroes like Iron Man. For the simple reason of they rely so much on their technology, their money, and everything else. They just don't have any real superpowers. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and get ready to think outside the box. Every day, we are surrounded by people. We talk to people every day. We interact with people every day, whether that's just a wave on the street, letting the old lady cross. Every day we interact with people and other human beings. What if, however, we are unaware that they may actually have some type of superpower? The man on the corner in the suit, walking super fast so that way he can get to a meeting that he's already late for. What if he's a shapeshifter and can change into whatever he deems appropriate for his environment at that time? The older lady playing chess in the park, well, she can actually read your mind. Or that one friend that you had since elementary school who just seems to be the luckiest person alive. What if they have the ability to change their luck to their advantage? See, we live in a world where we are under this understanding that this is all just simple imagination. It's only in books, it's only in movies, it's only in TV. So let's think for a second. Where did the person get the idea for superpowers? It's crazy to me to think that very first creator of some of these heroes just came up with this concept. So what if they noticed something the rest of the world just didn't? Yes, we can see crazy human strengths that are explained by just adrenaline. We're able to break that down by science. There's you see it all the time. Whether that be our men and women overseas who just got hit by an IED and they are ripping a door off of a Humvee, or that firefighter is trying to rescue a little girl and just lifts a car, who just yesterday had trouble lifting the hose. We see it all the time. It's that adrenaline. And we can prove that by science. Now, if we take out science out of this, that's what we're looking at. We want to dig into what just can't be explained through science. Now, let's take a look at a couple superheroes, okay? So, let's take Captain America to start. I know I said let's take science out of it, however, science is involved. So, Captain America. The U.S. government took a below-average male, genetically modified him to become superhuman. Now, this is 2023. We live in a world where essentially this is very possible. Research and experiments have shown that we have the capability of genetic modification. So for us to say that we couldn't change something simple like muscle growth, advanced physical capacity, is really just absurd. So yes, we have steroids. Steroids do genetically modify to your muscles and suck in water, and it helps heal the muscles faster and everything else. Yes. But we're not talking about just basic steroids here. We're talking they have taken and extracted DNA, played with it like clay, and then re-injected it so that way his or her genetic makeup completely changes. So now let's do this. Let's look at a couple more. Let's look at the Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man. Both of them came into contact with some type of scientific experiment that was happening that changed them genetically. Obviously, accidental. Yes, these are two major changes. They are two completely different examples. However, due to these unexpected changes, they gain capabilities that honestly could be quite possible. You're talking about, we do not know the full extent of gamma radiation. We have the capability of accessing gamma radiation, but we don't know the full extent of what it could actually do to the human body. At least basic and common humans don't. Yes, the idea of Spider-Man being bit by a spider and being able to all of a sudden shoot spider webs, climb buildings, and everything else is crazy. However, this is Mindbender. So, if this is at all possible, where did the idea of this come from? Did Stan Lee just happen to come across some man climbing a building out of nowhere? Or was it just as funny as simple as he had saw a spider do it. It's like, man, that'd be really cool if a human being can do this. Absolutely. Very possible that it was just that simple. However, we can not say that at some point, maybe even now, that it is not possible to change the human DNA to that extreme. So, just so let's do this, okay? Let's go ahead and get outside of science. Okay, scientific experiments, causing effect. Let's change the spectrum a bit. Let's take a look at a couple different ones. So let's take a look at Superman, Green Lantern, and even Venom. Okay, so all three of these have one massive and major similarity. They're all aliens, or at least from outer space. Yes, I know, for my comic book nerds, Green Lantern got his ability from an alien ring, however, still alien related. So, we know here recently the US government has in fact released that at some point, even now, they have dealt with some type of alien being, alien technology, and just overall alien investigation. So it's not unrealistic. It's not an unrealistic idea that they may simply be just walking around among us. Not to mention the fact that we're not clear how long they may have been here and walking around among us. So, with that being said, is it too ridiculous to think that they may have some type of ability or powers that would allow them to do things beyond human and, let's be realistic, earthling ideas? So, they've already shown their technology, whether that be realistically mainly just UFOs. But they've already shown that their technology is far superior than ours is. Now, if they have been able to evolve and adapt to their planet's gravity, which obviously they have, that might actually allow them to leap higher than a building in a single bound, fly, even have X-ray vision. Now, let's say these aliens are not walking around like us or with us. What if the ability to live inside us like a bacteria or a virus could explain why some athletes seem to improve drastically overnight? All of a sudden, someone has the ability that they're just a super genius. They may have bumped their head, so they thought, and then poof, they're smarter than some of the greatest minds in the world. Maybe those individuals are just simply, I don't necessarily want to say possessed, but have simply, they're controlled by aliens at this point. Now, I'm not going into extreme theories or ideas that I personally have about aliens on this episode. Trust me though, that episode is coming, and I can go ahead and promise you that is going to be a multi-episode event. So let's move on. With all this being said, are we really alone? Are superpowers or special abilities too insane to believe in? Every day it seems that we're discovering something new that we never thought was happening in our world. We are constantly discovering, investigating new creatures, bugs, bacteria, and even viruses. If we really live in a world where humans or aliens truly do have these abilities, why have we not found them? Or realistically, have we? So, I know, short episode. However, this is just a small episode to kind of tweak your mind a little bit. Make you look at Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, or any other superheroes or comic books. Maybe just a little bit different. Again, we're here to think outside the box. So I want to go ahead and end this episode with those in mind, those little mind benders for you. I want to say thank you. Thank you for checking out the second episode. And for those of you that this is your first episode, welcome. I invite you guys to check us out on YouTube, check us out on Spotify. Please hit that like button, hit that follow button, and like us on Facebook. On Facebook, that's where we post polls. And I would almost bet that we've got another poll coming up pretty soon, because I want to get your guys' idea on an episode. Let's work together on this next one. So check us out on Facebook. If you're watching us on YouTube, drop a comment. Don't hesitate to comment, please. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you as an audience. So, again, my name's Keith, and this is Mindbender.